Hello, and welcome to our series on job function-based testing. My name is Ginny Marshall, and I'm the CEO of DSI Work Solutions. And it's my pleasure to continue with this series as we explore through the opportunities, the considerations, and now we're going to talk about what job function testing looks like and share some examples with you so you can get a better idea of the type of testing that we've been talking about as we have explored those opportunities, which included injury prevention opportunities as well as injury management opportunities. Let's look first at an example of a job function-based test for a firefighter. What I want you to notice as we look at this document is we always start by referencing what is the job function demand that we're testing for. Jobs don't usually just have one essential function or job function demand. They have several, and each one often has its own unique set of physical demands. So we'll take a look at a few of them here. As you can see with the firefighter, there are really several areas that the firefighter can be assigned. They may be assigned in the fire station, for example, and there are different physical demands associated with the essential functions or job function demands that are in the fire station. There's also duties related to being an EMT. You can see that that area is called out. And for each of the job function demands that relate to an EMT that's assigned to rescue service, those physical requirements are identified uniquely. Where we're going to focus to give you a little bit more clarity on what this looks like is on actual firefighting. So as you look at this document, you'll see that different components of firefighting, as far as essential functions or job function demands, are being called out. Let's focus on the firefighting function that is related to accessing and removing victims. What you can see is that a test has been designed that relates to crawling. So in the test, we are going to be asking the individual to demonstrate crawling much in the manner that it is done in the workplace in that particular function. So here in the job function test, you can see that described. And as we look at the video, you'll be able to see it being demonstrated. Let's focus on another job function demand. This one relates to the use of ladders, climbing to access roofs, for example. So here you can see the test described as it is done, which is climbing ladders as high as 50 feet in this particular example. And now here's a video demonstrating the testing in action. For one more example, let's look at the job function demand of managing the fire hose. So again, here you can see how the test is described in order to be done. And now let's look at it on video. So in these three examples, you are looking at testing that is done in an environment that has been set up to replicate what it is the firefighters must do as closely as possible. Next, we're going to look at an example of testing that's more clinic-based, yet the design is still similar to the job. So this is a more warehouse-oriented job, as you can see. And lifting and handling the product is the vital component to this job. The job function demand is selecting cases and placing them on the pallet. This involves lifting, and the lifting is taking place in a certain range. So we are going to look at a lifting test that is similar in range, similar in weight, and similar in movement pattern to what it is that the selector must be able to do when they are in the work environment. As you can see, there are a number of different lifts here. And when you look at the video, you can see that those are being simulated using a more standardized shelf that's adjustable and crate where the weight can be changed. Let's look. So although it's not as work-like in appearance as what we saw with the firefighter example, we will be asking current employees to go through this more clinic-oriented test in order to be able to assure us that it is like the job. They're using their experience and understanding the pace and the feel of the job to allow us to determine that it is indeed a test that's reflective of the work. The decision of which one to choose has a lot of variables. It depends on the particular job, space available, what makes the most sense for a particular employer and or a particular job. It also has something to do with how the provider can serve. What are their space abilities or limitations, their staffing ability and limitations, and therefore which makes the most sense. A more direct work simulation or more of a clinic-based simulation. Either can serve very well. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of perspective on what this type of testing can look like. It's important to understand that it is job specific. It is designed to be like the job in terms of how it's written and in terms of how the individuals going through the testing experience it. It is in the work relatedness that trust is built, the understanding that the job is reflective of the work, that it is job related and consistent with business necessity is very important. When that exists, then there tends to be a lot of trust in the outcomes of this testing, whether it's for injury prevention purposes, return to work purposes, or even at the level of accommodating an individual with a disability. So hopefully this has given you a good feel for what this testing can look like. And in our next video, we are going to address some of the most common questions that are brought forward by both providers and employers. If you want to learn more about job function testing, please feel free to visit our website, dsiworksolutions.net, where you can take a deeper look at the coursework that we offer that not only looks at testing, but also looks at how testing is designed. And we welcome you to try the first lesson in these courses at no obligation. Thank you for accompanying us as we take a look at job function testing, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.